Hello and welcome to episode 178 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is the truth about clarity.
Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin.
Now, Coach, I remember sitting back at my home, I think in 2014, I was renting my dad's home. And I was sitting there and I was reading all the personal development books. I was reading Think and Grow Rich. And God, that book took me about 10 goes to actually get through the first 3 chapters. But when I actually got through the first 3 chapters, it was the most brilliant and most amazing book. I'd highly recommend it. And I highly recommend that you stay persistent, because whenever I've tried to give it to Kerry, I've bought like 3 copies. I've given her one as a gift. And every time she started an order book, she's completely jumped off. Now, with that being said, this was me back in 2014, renting my dad's home. I think I was paying him about $400-500 a week. And I was a personal trainer inside the gym, and I was moving. That's the first steps of me moving into the online space, wondering what I could do, wondering where I could go. And my initial expectations of jumping into the online space was that I was going to make passive income. I was going to have this automated thing that runs for me. I wouldn't have to do anything. I'd have technology build everything out. And I think that's the expectation that most trainers, and in fact, if you're listening to this show, you probably have the same expectations. And whilst I'll tell you that some of it is doable, most of my expectations were completely shattered, or they're completely shattered right now. I don't believe that money grows on trees and it comes through automation. I believe that it comes by adding tremendous value. I mean, this is probably for another podcast episode, another quick talk, but you know, if you're there, I want you to succeed, and I really need you to shift your expectation and be willing to put in the work, be willing to put in the time, be willing to step up and become a leader that somebody's going to follow. Because if it was all about automation, you need to ask yourself, why isn't a million people, why aren't a million other trainers, why aren't a million other fitness enthusiasts trying to do what you're trying to do and create automation? And if it was that easy, it'd be saturated. If it was easy, everyone would have it and no one would value it. Okay? And so today's topic is just about clarity. It's that one thing that stops people. I mean, I did a video on perfectionism. It was on my Facebook page. It's such a great video. It went off well. I think we've got well over 10,000 views on it. But if you're sitting here waiting for clarity, if you're here reading books, consuming information, and you're just waiting for that thing to click, it's not going to click. And I'm going to tell you why it's not going to click. Because do you get results by sitting there and waiting for results? Do you get results by working your butt off, training hard inside the gym, eating consistently? Do you get 1 million followers on Facebook for doing absolutely nothing? Or do you get 1 million followers on Facebook by doing things every single day and creating amazing content? You know, does an author sell 1 million books before she's written her book? Did J.K. Rowling sell Harry Potter out before Harry Potter was released? No. And so why I'm telling you this today is because you might be sitting there waiting for the result, and the result is clarity, but you haven't put in the work to get the result. And a lot of the people, you know, are hoping, are searching for clarity, for searching for a clear path. Yet in reality, they haven't decided to walk in order to find that path. And so if there's one key lesson that I can teach you, it's that it's not going to come to you. It really isn't going to come to you by sitting there and wondering about all the options, because when it comes to you, and how it comes to you, is by you walking through the fog, you walking when it's dark, you trying to figure it out. And then, you know, every time you take that 100-meter leap, the next 100 meters will open, and then the next 100 meters will open. And then 1 kilometer into the trip, or, you know, a mile into the trip, guess what? 2 miles opens up, and now you've got options. And that, my friend, is clarity. Now, I wanted to give you this reminder because it's halfway through 2017. If you haven't started doing stuff to actually go and impact more people, but create freedom for yourself, right? Whenever I look at stuff for my clients, I'm like, you have an obligation to do this. It's not even just about you anymore. Like, I know you can survive on nothing. Think about the family. Think about your friends. Think about all the people that you can positively impact. What a leader does, the leader takes all that upon themselves to go, I've got this. Whether or not you're masculine, whether or not you're feminine, a leader just says, holy crap, I'm going to step up and I'm going to look after people around me. Whatever you decide to view it or project it. Make it work for you. Like if you want to use that analogy that you need to look after everyone around you, then that's great. Take that obligation on. That's a great amount of pressure. If you just think that, holy crap, you want to make $1 million and you have to make $1 million, take on that pressure. It doesn't mean you're good and bad. It's got nothing to do with it. It's about you and about your goals and seeing what, will really drive you. Because money drives some people, it doesn't drive others, right? Family and obligation drives some people, it doesn't drive others. Okay? What about the obligation to the world? What about your freedom? What about all the people that if you didn't get, your knowledge out there and you weren't able to express yourself, you weren't able to step up? Because the only reasons why you'd be listening to this podcast, and I don't want you to doubt yourself, only reasons why you'd be listening to this podcast is if you were a leader searching for more and you actually enjoyed training people and you enjoyed getting them results. And the ultimate thing that you cared about was results. That's why you'd be listening. Then I've got a mission for you. I need you to step up. I need you to start making the rest of 2017 different. And you're probably wondering, well, Lynn, how do I do that? How you do that is by walking. Getting that clarity by doing the work. Clarity doesn't come, right, by sitting there listening. Clarity doesn't come by procrastinating. Clarity comes when you set aside and you make a decision that, holy crap, you're going to do this no matter what. Like no matter what happens in your life, you do not give up. There's a book that I highly recommend you read, and it's called The 4 Agreements. It's 4 agreements to live by. And the first agreement that so many people fail to do is keep their word impeccable. So many people talk about change. They say they want to change. They talk about change. You talk about how you're going to smash it this year. Yet in reality, your word hasn't been kept impeccable. Now that isn't your fault. Things have come up. I completely understand that. But here's the reality. If you live by the belief today that, holy crap, you are going to keep your word absolutely impeccable, that if you say something, count it as done, it's done, or don't say it at all. How would that completely change your life? Okay, there's a second agreement. I'm not going to go through all 4, but the second agreement is don't take things personally. I think this kills you. This kills you because when you take things personally, especially when you're marketing, when you're selling, and you get rejected, or if you're marketing, you're putting out things on Facebook ads and you're getting, knocked down by other people. If you take things personally, it's going to affect you. It's going to affect your growth. It's going to affect your mission. I think The 4 Agreements is such a powerful book to live by. If you don't have it, I thought I'd share it. I think it's a great book. I live by those values. I try to most of the time. And it's definitely hard to not take things personally. No one's perfect. So that being said, I wanted to put this out to you today because if you are in search of something called clarity and you don't have it yet and you are frustrated and you don't have a clear path, don't look for the clear path. No clear path's going to come your way. You do the work, you commit, you make a decision to go all in, do the work, and the path will unfold as you walk.
Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.